tonight. We take you to National Indigenous Peoples Day celebrations across the province. And a young Indigenous girl gets the chance to pursue an out-of-this-world dream.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Friday, June 21st, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Today is National Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's been a day filled with celebrations across the province. In Regina, people of all ages and cultures came out to enjoy the festivities.
This is how you say thank you in Cree. We're all going to try it. Say hi, hi.
This is just one of the events in the city in Victoria Park. People tried their hand at building a teepee and even learned some Cree. For many, it was also a day for reflection, making connections and reconciliation.
If you look around, everybody's smiling and excited to get involved in the activities. And what's amazing about that is that they're here to learn. And every activity and experience is meant to be immersive. So at the stage, people are dancing in front of the stage. At the activities, the adults and the kids are getting involved in doing all the activities. So that's the best part about today.
Healing never ends. There's still many generations above us that are going to be affected by the trauma that has been placed on First Nations people throughout many decades. So it's definitely bittersweet. It's nice that we are able to come out and celebrate our people and our culture, but it's also a reminder of the dark times and how far we still have to come.
And there were other events taking place in many communities across the province, including Lloydminster, Yorkton, Moose Jaw, and Prince Albert. People in Saskatoon marked the day there with a walk for reconciliation.
Welcome everybody. Well, we welcome everybody to the, this day of celebration, and a beautiful day too.
Let's try that one more time. Good morning. How are you? Yeah.
A lot of our youth, basically, a day put aside for our people to bring some culture and tradition and things like that here to the park. But it's also a time of gathering. The old saying a long time ago, it's good to meet up with new friends, to make new friends, to also meet up with family as well.
Let's bring them on in. Let's bring them on in.
This means strength. This gives us strength, what we see. Everybody participating gives us strength. Yeah, and then this is granddaughter Jordan. Yeah. And just to see everybody participate, it's a wonderful feeling.
It's amazing. It is amazing to see the community come together, have our organization part of that community, and just join as one and join the walk.
And on this Indigenous Peoples Day, one Cree man is sharing his teachings of the Metis jig with others in the hopes they'll be inspired to learn. Darla Panes has more.
Marcus Morasti says jigging inspired him to pursue dancing as a career. After high school, he moved to Winnipeg to attend the Contemporary Dance School. These days, he's a performer and freelance dance instructor in Regina. He says jigging brings him joy and allows him to share his culture.
I share these teachings, these dance steps, so that people can take them and go where they want with them. Because I feel like, the culture and the dancing, it should be shared.
Morasti says jigging has always been a popular dance in his community in Pelican Narrows. It began long before he was born and continued on through generations.
A lot of the fur traders, like the Scottish fur traders and the English fur traders, they'd come down that channel and come to a trading post that was located in Pelican Narrows. And I think with them, they brought, the culture of their people, like the Irish jig and all of that, and the fiddle music as well.
Morasti says jigging is also an easy way for Indigenous people to get together and dance for fun. It's different from ceremonial dances, and he says it's made it quite popular in Indigenous communities.
It just brings a community together, and it just feels so fun and wholesome, and social. So that's why I love to teach, and that's why I first started doing it as well, because it was just a really fun dance to do.
Over the years, Morasti has taught more than 1,000 people to jig. He plans to keep teaching others and hopes the dance will continue to flourish. Darla Panes, CBC News, Regina.
And 2 young Indigenous women are breaking stereotypes in the beauty industry. Louise Big Eagle spoke with them about how they're inspiring others to see themselves differently.
Give it to Mrs. Canada.
Ashley Collingbull is a woman of many firsts. In 2015, she became the first Indigenous woman to be crowned Mrs. Universe. Then, the Cree woman became the first First Nations model to sign with Next Canada, a major modeling agency, and to make it onto the pages of Sports Illustrated magazine.
As a woman, I had to fight so hard to be in the spaces that I'm in now.
Collingbull says it took a lot of drive and determination to get to where she is, because her looks were not then seen in the modeling world.
We're not the normal standard, and I've been told that since the very beginning of my modeling career when I started when I was 18. It's that, girls don't have this native nose and this bump. Girls don't look like this. They're not dark skinned, don't have dark hair. It's usually, the typical model that they were looking for. And
when Collingbull first entered the pageant world, she says a local newspaper mocked her.
But the joke was, there's an Indigenous woman competing this year. Wonder what she's going to do for her talent. Is she going to chug Lysol or sign welfare checks with her toes? And they printed my picture next to that. And that was really disheartening for me. It made me feel so alone and felt like everyone was against me, because these were stereotypes that are pushed onto me, and that's not who I am. And now, I'm going into this where I'm not the only Indigenous woman. Yes, we've made our mark. We're letting people know that we're still here and we're rising and we're stronger than you can ever believe. So with the changes, I feel like now it's more inclusive, more diverse.
That belief is shared by Nicole Aiken of Daybird Beauty. She teaches Indigenous girls and women how to showcase their features with makeup tutorials.
When I'm finished, I'll give them the mirror and I'll tell them, have a look, let me know if you want me to change anything or add more. And just like seeing their smile, it's just so amazing. And it's like, we can all see that beauty, but for them, it's like the first time they're witnessing their own beauty. And I just think that's so amazing.
I even told her when I was done with their changeover and how I looked, I said, "Oh my God, that's me. You made me look nice." And she really made me feel good that day.
Indigenous people are beautiful, and they should have been celebrated from the get-go.
Collingbull also coaches girls and women to see themselves as beautiful and to be proud of who they are. Louise Big Eagle, CBC News, Regina.
CBC's Indigenous Unit has been highlighting First Nations, Inuit, and Métis trailblazers. It puts a spotlight on Indigenous people who have broken barriers in areas like sport, healthcare, and law. Tonight, the spotlight is on Kenneth Moore, the first Indigenous medal winner at the Olympic Games. And he was born in Balcarres.
My grandfather is the first First Nations person to win an Olympic gold medal.
There's my grandfather's name, Ken Moore.
When I think about my grandfather and what a wonderful and humble man he was, and the fact that we really didn't realize his accomplishments and his achievements until after he's passed, it's somewhat telling. It's the kind of person he was, that he wouldn't have talked about this a lot. When my grandfather passed, I was 15 years old, and so I remember going through some cupboards and some drawers and pulling out a hockey sweater, and it said Canada on it, and it was an Olympic hockey sweater, and there was my grandfather in this Canada, or in this Olympic hockey sweater, with his teammates. And then we came across this, which is his Olympic gold medal. For his granddaughter and our generation to learn about this just wasn't something that was talked about a lot or at all. I think my grandfather should be remembered as somebody who took advantage of every opportunity. The gifts he was given, academically, sports-wise, and really worked incredibly hard to turn all of his talents and gifts into something that could make a contribution.
Well, the sun was out for most of today's events in Regina. Things have clouded over since, and we've been actually seeing some severe weather in parts of the province this afternoon. Tyreek will give us an update on that and your weekend forecast when we come back. Welcome back. In Winnipeg, today marked the end of an 8-week language course for about 24 students, but it's just the beginning of their fight to keep the Ojibwe language from disappearing. Introduction to Anishinaabe-Moan is offered for free, and the course is part of an effort to revitalize one of North America's oldest Indigenous languages.
The class started 15 weeks ago, and when we all met, we were essentially strangers. 15 weeks later into the course, we're all a large community. It's important for me personally because I saw that statistically, we only have 3,480 speakers left in all of Canada that speak Ojibwe. So that's a terrifying reality, and that's a real wake-up call to the rest of us who are speakers.
Gi miwan, this is rain, so it is raining. Bimose, he or she is walking.
We've been teaching hand gestures on how to make bannock. We've been teaching the alphabet. That's essentially where we started. We've taught the 5 W's, the who, what, where, when, why, and how, and the 5 senses. And we've taught the 7 generations. So we've got a lot of interactive activities that we've engaged in the course of 15 weeks. We're so proud of all of our students. It really moves me when I can see a new student learning a new language.
This weather update is brought to you by Titan Automotive, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
And weather specialist Tyreek Reed joining us now. We were on our way there, Ty, to another beautiful sunny day, and things have changed a bit.
Yes, Ethan, things have changed drastically. It's been a messy afternoon down in southern Saskatchewan, seeing a lot of severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in the area, mainly down south, like I just mentioned, like right here in Regina. Over in Davidson, we even had a tornado warning issued earlier. That has since ended. Now there's just a severe thunderstorm warning in that area, but as you can see, we're still seeing a lot of that messy weather right there. That seems to be heading northeast, bringing with it nickel-sized hail, toonie-sized hail actually, and lots of downpours. So we're going to be keeping our eye on this system as it continues to head east tonight. Now let's take a look at temperatures because they are still quite warm in some areas. We're getting a little bit of a mix of everything. We're seeing temperatures near 25 degrees in the Churchill region and areas like L'Orange. Heading down into south and central, we're actually being met with cooler temperatures today. So we're actually sitting below seasonal in a lot of areas, like right here in Weyburn, down in the southeast, where we're seeing a lot of these watches and warnings. So yeah, a messy day down south, not quite where we want to be, but we are still seeing a lot of warm temperatures throughout the province. And this is going to continue as we head further into the weekend and in the week ahead. We did have that ridge over most of the prairies today, brought extreme heat warnings to places like northern Alberta, not here in Saskatchewan just yet, but who knows, we could see that later on now that it is summer. This rain system will continue to head east into tonight. Waking up tomorrow morning, we could still see that in areas like Regina and other areas in the southeast. Heading into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start to see that clear up, but then again, we're going to start to see those pop-up showers make its way back in. On Sunday, it's going to be a mainly dry day for most of the province, but those showers are going to move back in with the potential to see thunderstorms later on. And of course, starting off the week in the north with more showers. And we're going to see a lot of this accumulation down in the southeast once again, seeing around 38 millimeters of rain, even getting closer to 40 in areas like Moosomin and also 33 in Hudson Bay. So yeah, still lots of rain. rain, and the winds will start to pick up as we head further into the weekend as well. We're seeing gusts near 40 kilometers an hour on Sunday throughout most of South and Central Saskatchewan. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Once again, Sunday looking like the warmest day of the week. We're seeing highs at around 27 degrees in southern Saskatchewan, like right here in Regina. Some areas could actually see temperatures near 30 degrees. So yeah, you're going to want to stay hydrated, keep that water bottle by your side. And as we head further into the week ahead, mainly dry conditions. We could start to see those showers on Tuesday, though. In Saskatoon, seeing mainly warm temperatures on Sunday, looking at daytime highs at around 27 degrees, but it's going to be a rainy start to the week ahead for our friends there. For now, let's just get through the rain that we're seeing tonight with all these watches and warnings, Ethan.
Yeah, and I appreciate, Tyreek, how the one day of the week that's going to be nice is that Riders home opener on Sunday.
Exactly. Fans are going to be treated with a lot of warm weather.
That's good to hear. Okay, thanks so much.
No problem.
Well, the city of Toronto kicked off its National Indigenous Peoples Day with a sunrise ceremony in Nathan Phillips Square. The ceremony takes place around a sacred fire. The event consists of several ceremonies that hold cultural significance for Indigenous people, including a smudging and a pipe ceremony. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. A quilter from Pasqua First Nation says learning to make star blankets and then sharing them online has helped her to overcome social anxiety. The Cree and Soto woman sat down with us to talk about building community and confidence.
There was a point in my life I didn't want to come out of my room, and so I've always struggled with anxiety. I made my first star blanket in 2018 for my niece. I didn't have anything really. I didn't even have a sewing machine, but I had a friend said she had an extra one. I tried to look up YouTube videos. I only got so far with that. I found kind of enough to get me started, and then the next step was kind of figuring out how to put it together. You know, I didn't really have a lot of confidence in my work at first. You know, it was a learning process. It was not lined up. It was really crooked. They didn't lie flat. And, you know, it helped me to grow as a person. So that feels really well, you know. So since then, I've made a little over 300 star blankets.
Clean the house, clear the drawers, mop the floors.
And then I ended up making a video where I showed my work, and I was surprised that it kind of like went mini viral. And then so I started putting more out, more, and it kind of grew. I was nervous. You know, my heart would start racing. I'd get sweaty. And I thought, the more I expose myself to this, the easier it'll get. And so that's where I started. I started going online and just showing, you know, whoever was interested, my work. So what's in front of me right now is the teal and turquoise. And I started getting like messages, inboxes of people like telling me, you know, that they love my work and they love what I'm doing. It helped my confidence. It helped me like pull myself out of that self-doubt. You know, you can be your own harshest critic. And so I always felt like I need my work to be perfect in order for it to be like appreciated. And it doesn't, you know, it's a good gift I have.
Well, some gorgeous designs there, Tyreek, and a gorgeous night in the sky as well.
Exactly. So folks heading out tonight will be able to enjoy a full moon, the strawberry moon, which will be peaking at around 7 o'clock tonight. Here in Regina, though, we're still going to be met with those showers mostly. And heading into tomorrow morning, we're still looking at those showers. But as we head into the afternoon, that's when we start to see things clear up quite a bit, looking at mainly sun and cloud with temperatures in the 20s as well. In Saskatoon, also getting a bit of those showers, probably non-severe. And as we head into tomorrow morning, that's going to clear up quite a bit. Heading into tomorrow afternoon, we'll get to see daytime highs at around 20, but more showers coming back in. Ethan?
Okay, we'll be keeping an eye out. Thanks, Tyreek.
No problem.
And before we leave you, summer camp is a rite of passage for many young people. It can be a chance to sing campfire songs, go canoeing, or play a sport. But for a young Indigenous girl from Regina, it's a chance to pursue a dream that's out of this world. Louise Big Eagle has more.
Talika Robson has always been a child who reaches for the stars. The 10-year-old wants to be an astrophysicist and learn all she can about space. Her interest in the topic took off at school when she came across this book.
I picked it up and it was The Mysteries of the Universe, and I opened it and I looked over and I flipped through the pages and I saw these stunning pictures of outer space. And I kept reading that book over and over again and studying it, and then eventually I just fell in love with space.
This is the 5DF simulator at Space Camp.
Now she's heading to NASA Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama to train like an astronaut. The camp is expensive and far away, but her parents say they want to support her dreams. Her mom, Jody Robson, is a baker by day and deals cards by night at the Casino Regina. She found an event at the library where Talika could meet astrophysicist Laurie Rousseau-Neptune. She's the first Indigenous woman in Canada to earn a PhD in astrophysics.
Regina Public Library did a Star Stories program this past year, and we went and attended it, and Talika got to meet somebody that she now aspires towards being just like.
It felt like I could be the next one to do what I dreamed and what I loved.
And with that, she says, you know what, I want to learn more about NASA. I want to become an astrophysicist. That's my goal in life.
And so that's how they found the space camp.
Going for some distance.
After completing a long application process, Talika was accepted.
We've been fundraising and just putting a lot of stuff together, trying to make sure that we can get her there, because it is quite an undertaking. I really want her to see and experience everything that she dreams about. And I think that it's really important for her to know that there are no barriers, that if you want to do it, you can do it.
Talika is excited to meet new people at the camp and try simulators.
It just makes me feel like I'm who I want to be and no one can stop me.
Louise Big Eagle, CBC News, Regina.
And we wish Talika all the best in her journey. That is it for us tonight and for this week. For news anytime, you can always head to our website, subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, or download the CBC News app. Thanks for watching. Have a great night and a great weekend.